you're the person who decided to bring a significant piece of workday life from
Hmm.
Ukraine to Berlin. And you have literally brought a 60 tons rack of a
Hmm.
Russian tank, and it was installed in Berlin for
Yeah,
several days in front of the
yeah.
Russian embassy in very center of Berlin. How came you up to that idea, and why did the Berlin City Hall oppose you?
Yeah, basically, few things came together. Like this, people don't care about anything, but if there is a tank in front of you, a lot of people are curious and say, oh, it's a tank, want to see it. And so I thought, okay, maybe we can use this to transport the story to transport some information, and that worked pretty well. But also we thought, a lot of people have never seen a tank in their life, and a tank, they think it's the most frightening thing you can see. And everybody in the military will say yes and no. It depends on how you use it. And so I thought bringing a destroy tank, showing like, hey, it's this much of metal between life and death, and it can blow up very easily. So just to show, it can be very scary, but it can be done in a second. And like as a starter for a discussion, like you heard of this, you've seen this in TV, here it is, and then here we go. And the basic idea was bring one of those things, or maybe several, I had no idea at the beginning, and then put them somewhere in Berlin, most likely in front of the Russian embassy, and basically return to sender. And then we said, okay, we want to do it. And then we told the district, hey, we're going to do this. And they said no. And then they came up with the whole story is so incredibly long, it's crazy, but it took 6 months, and they had 14 main reasons why it's not okay. And it
What
was
were the
like,
reasons?
it was like one of the coolest one was, imagine somebody is riding his bicycle. He could be so distracted that he just fall off his bicycle and hit his head. And we said, okay, I don't think this is likely. And I mean, if you ever visited Berlin, there's so many strange things here. A tank isn't even the strangest you will see. And then they said, yeah, but the Syrian refugees, they could be traumatized by this. I said, okay, what's the base for this opinion? Because I was there, I talked to a lot of those people. Don't think it works like this. And I said,
I
no,
think the
no, no,
Syrian
no.
refugees
But
would be happy to see a destroyed Russian tank.
yeah, right. And then it went on and on, stupid like this. And really, it was between laughable and like annoying. But luckily, the court saw it the same way. They said, yeah, you bring reason after reason, but I don't understand any of those. And so at the end, the court says, okay, it's a done deal. You can bring the tank. And the idea of the city was making the court case so expensive that we can't afford doing it. And this is really, really bad for democratic government to try to make something so expensive that a citizen can't make use of his right. And that was really bad. But at the end, they lost, and we made it.
Yeah, I remember it, and I was thinking all the time, like, what are they thinking about? Like, it looked like they wanted to sabotage
Yeah,
your efforts because they
yes,
just didn't want the Russian embassy to be annoyed, but they
yeah.
didn't dare to express it. And the mayor of Berlin was a representative of a social democratic party, the party of Olaf Scholz and Gerhard Schröder and many others.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like obviously understandable that they didn't want to extra provoke, as they believed, or make Russian unhappy with that tank.
Yeah, I mean, they could just bring a Russian flag and say, hey, this is our party, and it would be much easier this way. And also, I think, if your friend applies for a good job, you don't make him lose a good job. And I mean, if Schröder makes so much money with supporting like a war criminal, of course his buddy want him to keep the job. That's normal, but it doesn't work in a democracy. Yeah, but it's very ugly. And I mean, it was on different levels. This was the Social Democrats, but also the mayor of the district in Berlin. They have their own mayors because the city is so big. She was from the Green Party, and she opposed it in any possible way. And basically her district, like government or whatever, they financed the court case on that side. And then after like months, I finally was able to talk to her because she refused all the time. And then she told me she never heard of this court case anywhere. Of course, everything said like from the mayor of the district of Mitte, this is like the court case, blah, blah, blah. Never heard of it, never saw anything in the media, not in the news, didn't receive my emails, didn't receive my letters, didn't know that I was there to talk to her, no idea. There was just one really interesting part of it. I said, okay, if she never heard of it, I believe her. But then how did she give an interview about it 1 week earlier? Time machine, or I don't know.
Yeah, that is indeed strange. But I remember also that there was a very interesting development around that tank. I'm sorry that I stick to that tank so much, but that whole story moved me a lot because there was an action several days after that, after you have installed the tank, and the Russian embassy and some pro-Russian Germans started to fund, obviously, the campaign of bringing flowers to that tank, like honoring the Russian soldiers. And I was a person who back then saw it. Yeah. I wanted to look at the tank next day, and I saw it was full of flowers. I said, we need to remove them, just remove them, because it's not okay when in our city there is a campaign honoring Russia's genocidal soldiers. And we have made a call online, and many people in Berlin came and helped to clean that tank from the flowers. And we also put the pictures of killed Ukrainian civilians and destroyed Ukrainian cities on that tank, like explaining the bystanders why it is so important to do it. And I was really impressed how many of people in Berlin joined our action to remove these flowers as a symbol of supporting for genocide. But what do you think after this tank was presented in Berlin? What do you think overall about the German support for Ukraine? We see that debate about Taurus and weapons, and it seems that the Chancellor Scholz is not that much representing the mood of an average German.
Now, first, regarding these flowers, it was hilarious because, I mean, there was a small truck approaching and there was a queue of people waiting for nothing. They were standing basically on the sidewalk, all Russian speaking, and like waiting for something. We said, what are they doing? And then this truck stopped and everybody got a bunch of flowers. And then we asked them, what are you doing? Oh, randomly, we were here and we found these flowers here. And I mean, so typical, so stupid Russian lies that you say, okay, it's then why did you stop in front of us and queuing up? I mean, but do it. But the funny thing about it was they put so much effort in this and no German ever got it. That's the funny thing, because a normal German has no idea about the flower colors and all these things. It's flowers. And I mean, I was there every day and I talked to a lot of people and they said, oh, it's so nice that so many people are bringing like gray flowers for the dead Ukrainians. And it's really nice to see the support. No one got that it was for Russian soldiers. Everybody thought it's for Ukrainians. And we said, that's so great and so nice that you put so much effort in it. And nobody but your little bubble understands it. That was kind of funny. Yeah, but also in general, I mean, we were there all the time and talked to a lot of people, and most, like a lot of people just got it, what it was. A few asked and said, interesting, and only a few were against it. And I mean, of course, that's kind of biased because it was a destroyed Russian tank, blah, blah, blah. But also on average, I mean, Scholz with his, like, we're helping thingy, his party has 15% in the, in the forecast right now. That's not impressive. And I mean, this argument, we are helping more than anybody else, said, okay, just to like picture this, if a few thugs are coming up and beating Scholz, and I walk by and throw in like €5, I can say, hey, I was the biggest donator. I did everything I could. What else should I have done? I gave more money than anybody else here. That's the same story. That doesn't help. And now the Germans are like, yeah, we're helping. I say, yeah, but not enough. I mean, we're one of the richest countries in the world. we're giving peanuts, we're keeping back a lot of stuff they need, and basically our government is sabotaging a lot of the big companies, like weapon companies, who say we want to deliver. And our government says, no, you're not allowed to. There's a lot of shit going on, and I'm still waiting for the big companies to step forward and tell like the public all the shit everybody around behind the scenes knows since 2 years, how they are kept back. That's very disgraceful from our government, of course. And I mean, obviously, our 3 parties that form a government, they have less than 1/3 of the votes behind them now in the forecasts. Yeah, it's not going well for them. And I mean, I don't see any proper direction. We're not really pro-Putin, or not openly. Of course, we support him in any possible way. I mean, we can trade all kind of goods with Russia still. It's not forbidden. Also, people think we're not allowed to trade with Russia. Of course, we're allowed to. Tourists from Russia are welcome in Germany. All these things are still okay. And a lot of people don't know this, or don't get it, or don't fact check it. Okay. And then the other thing is, like it's not only Ukraine, but I mean, that's a big thing right now. But neither the Green Party, nor the Liberals, nor the Social Democrats are doing anything in this conflict properly, I would say. Like also when the Liberals said, yeah, but we want to have Taurus delivered, and the Green Party said, and then there was a vote on that in the parliament, and they said no. But then 5 minutes later on social media, they said again, yeah, but I voted no, but really I meant yes. So, okay, explain this to the voters.